Have you ever needed to send an urgent document to an office in Tokyo or Berlin and been told, with complete seriousness, to fax it? Not scan and email. Fax. The machine you assumed had quietly vanished in the early 2000s is still sitting on desks in two of the world's most technologically advanced economies, doing exactly what it did in 1985. Most of the developed world abandoned fax machines decades ago. Japan and Germany did not, and the reason has nothing to do with nostalgia. Both countries built entire systems of law, language, and business culture around the fax, and email never managed to dislodge it. In Japan, the obstacle was never about preference. It was about the keyboard. Written Japanese combines thousands of characters across 3 writing systems, and early digital input required typing a phonetic approximation and selecting the correct character from a list, a process that was slow and deeply unsuited to formatted business documents. A faxed page transmitted exactly what was written on it, instantly, without translation into a digital format that might mangle the characters. For decades, faxing a document was simply faster and more reliable than typing the equivalent. Generations of Japanese office workers built their entire administrative habits around a machine that solved a problem email could not. But here's the surprising truth. The fax also became legally significant in ways email initially was not. In Japan, a faxed document carrying a hand-stamped personal seal, called a hanko, carried legal and cultural weight that a digital file simply did not possess. The physical artifact, with its visible mark of authorization, fit a bureaucratic culture that valued tangible, signed paperwork. Email lacked that authority for a long time, and institutions were slow to build legal infrastructure that let digital signatures carry equivalent weight. Germany's reasons are almost entirely different and come down to one thing: privacy law. Germany has among the strictest data protection regulations in the world, shaped by 20th century history and a deep cultural wariness about surveillance. Email, particularly in its early decades, was widely understood to be insecure and stored indefinitely on servers the sender did not control. A fax, transmitted directly over a telephone line from one machine to another, was considered point-to-point and significantly harder to intercept or archive without consent. German doctors, lawyers, and government offices, all bound by strict confidentiality requirements, continued relying on fax specifically because it offered a kind of transmission privacy that email could not initially guarantee. Think of it like 2 countries each building a stone wall to solve 2 completely different problems, one keeping out a language barrier and one keeping out a privacy risk, and discovering decades later that both walls happened to be made of the same material. So if email security has since improved dramatically and digital signatures are now legally recognized almost everywhere, why hasn't the fax disappeared? The answer, as is often the case, comes down to infrastructure that has already been paid for. Hospitals, law firms, and government departments in both countries built decades of internal process around fax transmission, and replacing that process requires retraining staff, rewriting procedure manuals, and trusting a new system completely. Nobody loses their job for keeping the fax machine running. Plenty of careers have been damaged by a digital system that failed at the wrong moment. So the next time you hear that an office in Tokyo or Berlin still wants your document faxed, you are not looking at a country behind the times. You are looking at 2 entirely separate, entirely rational decisions made decades apart that happened to produce the same outdated-looking machine sitting on 2 very different desks.